Hey, welcome into GroomersTake on today, Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. The Toronto Maple Leafs just defeated the Columbus Blue Jackets. Really, I thought this was either going to be a game that was really, really bad, considering all the injuries the Leafs have. Speeza's now out for 6 games that we just learned just before the game. It took them a long time to announce that. But really, the Leafs came out. It was a very, very good team win, and that's what these guys continue to do. I didn't see too much from the guys they called up from those from the farm or anything, but they get the job done. Matthews stays hot. Riley 4 assists. Nick Ritchie getting his first goal as a Toronto Maple Leaf. But really what stood out to me, and I've watched a lot of hockey this year, is the save made by Soupy. Jack Campbell, that might be the save of the year for me, but really good job by the Leafs. This is going to be a bit of a struggle now for 4 to 6 weeks, missing some young guys, and you know the classic lines were used. Guys are going to have opportunities now to step up, and I just hope that continues throughout the next few weeks. So yes, as I mentioned, injuries. Rasmus Sandin and Mitch Marner out for weeks. Jason Speeza got the call. In-person hearing. He gets 6 games. The thing is with me is all of this could have been stopped. Was it a clean hit? No, it was not. He followed as far as he could to the ice to make contact with the head, the upper chest, the head. I think it was his knee that ended up hitting him. But really, he wanted to stand up for his teammate, and I get that. But yeah, it wasn't a good play. This could have been stopped, though. This could have been avoided, and this is where it gets frustrating for myself and I'm sure the players and a lot of fans. The refs had the opportunity to make the right decision, to make the right call. The knee on Sandin wasn't intentional. No, you see him kind of leaning with his shoulder, but he's doing the lunge kind of thing, and that does not go well. The refs could have squashed it, could have been 5, could have been just a misconduct, whatever you wanted to do, and instead it doesn't happen. Veteran guys like Speeza get mad, and he's not an aggressive guy. He's not a repeat offender in the suspension category, but you're gonna piss some people off, and you're gonna want revenge. The whole rest of that game against Winnipeg was a brouhaha. Keith called it a gong show. That's not a gong show. Gong shows happened 20 years ago, 15 maybe. That was play fighting. And to speak about the game, Winnipeg comes to Toronto in March. That game's going to be very heated. And the game quickly on Saturday against Minnesota. Championship teams that are down 3-0 and are able to salvage a point on the road in Minnesota, a great hockey market, by the way. That was a great atmosphere. That's what championship teams do. So I really liked that side of it. And, 1 of 4 points, not great, but it is what it is. Who are we to complain? The Leafs have been on fire. Jets' Neil Pionk does get suspended 2 games for his knee on Rasmus Sandin, and now he's in concussion protocol. That's a little weird considering we're 2 days later, but it is what it is. Health is health, and you hope the dude's okay. 2 games, little soft, maybe 3 in my mind, but that's no big deal. Austin Matthews, speaking of the brouhaha that happened on Sunday, he got ragdolled by Pierre-Luc Dubois. And I know Matthews is a goal scorer. He doesn't want to fight back, but how he got a penalty on that play makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. And again, that's another instance where the refs could have done the right thing, and none of the rest of the crap would have happened in the game. At one point, Austin Matthews is a huge guy. He's a big, strong kid. I want to see him fight back a little bit, or maybe just throw a huge hit. A clean hit, but a huge hit. Because you, as a Leaf fan, you don't want to see him get hurt. You don't want to see him fight, break his hand. He's a goal scorer. He's our guy. But I wouldn't mind that. Sheldon Keefe today saying it's pretty weird that Matthews doesn't really get more calls against him. I don't notice it too much. If you're going to notice it with anybody, of course, it's Conor Mcdavid. Every time that guy goes up the ice, he gets absolutely slashed, held, anything to stop him because he's the best player in the world. A blink of an eye, and he's gone. Speaking of Conor Mcdavid, Edmonton Oilers, he is not facing any disciplinary action for his little boarding hit on Adrian Kempe. I believe that was also on Sunday. It was a bit of a drive-by shoulder to the back of, I think, Kempe's shoulder, and he goes face first into the boards, and he was bleeding. It didn't look good, but I don't think he meant anything crazy by it. So nothing there. McDavid spoke about his penalties, how he doesn't get any called on him. It's absolutely insane. Before we get to some firings in the NHL, Brendan Lemieux only getting a 5-game suspension for opening his jaw and burying his teeth into another human's flesh is ridiculous. Another thing here by the NHL, you could have made a statement. This should have been a 10-game suspension because it has nothing to do with the game. Biting has nothing to do with anything unless you're eating food. 5 games, next guy's going to say, okay, well then, what are you going to do to me? You can't give him more than 10. Sure, you can double it, but you could have stopped it now. You're an idiot if you bite anybody on the ice. Ridiculous. Vancouver Canucks, they've been on paper they look great. On the ice they haven't. It hasn't been good at all. They fired GM Jim Benning, head coach Travis Green, ex-Leaf, hired Bruce Boudreau as an ex-coach, a veteran coach, a coach who's going to kick some asses, because I think there's some players in that locker room that need a kick in the ass. Elias Pettersson, supposed to be one of the best players in the world, got paid like a best player in the world, and he's not showing anything about it. They have the team. I still think they have the team. Can they make the playoffs now? I don't know. That's going to be one hell of a run, but big changes there in Vancouver. They're talking about rebuilding a little bit. I don't know if you need to do it right away. Maybe there's some things to change, but hey, let's give it a little bit here. Let's give Brucey a little bit of a leeway. Give him a month or so. Give him a month and a half. See where you are at the deadline, and then take it from there. Flyers, Alain Vigneault, other assistant, can't remember who it was, out. Other assistant coach Mike Yeo in. Another team that I thought, for years I've been saying the Philadelphia Flyers have a lot of really good pieces. I thought this was a year that maybe I had them competing with the Leafs for the final playoff spot in my preseason rankings, and that's obviously not the case. Philadelphia not getting it done on the ice. They've been booed. Carter Hart, I've said the guy, I put him at over 1.5 Vezina wins in his career, and yes, he's young, but it's either boom or bust right now with that guy. Anytime he steps on the ice, it's really weird. The Flyers brought in guys on defense like Ristolainen, Ellis, probably another one I think I'm missing. But this team is meant to be good right now. Couturier's a stud at center. You're not going to have the Giroux potential for that much longer. I mean, their time was now, and it's not looking very good. So, all right, enough of that. Goaltender Robin Leonard has opted out of participating in the Olympics for Team Sweden, citing mental health. And I agree. I think there might be some more players that decide to sit out. The way the world is now, the way the last year has been, it's tough. And then if you go over to the Olympics in China, you're in trouble. You could be in trouble. You can get COVID, and then you're stuck there for 2 weeks. Yeah, and you're already going over there to sit in a hotel room because they're not allowed to leave. Yes, you get to represent your country and play against the best hockey players in the world, but, I mean, it could take a big toll on guys in their mental health, and you don't want to see that. So, Robin Leonard being the first hockey player to announce that, and there might even be more. Who knows? We'll see. NBA Raptors playing really well right now, and right now it's their main focal point is defense. They're winning games on the defensive side. They're going to be a fun team to watch. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but they're growing, they're rebuilding. They beat the champions the other night last week. They come back with a good win against the Washington Wizards. Not looking too shabby there right now. I believe they're one game under 500. NBA teams now must give a list of unvaccinated players before entering Canada due to the new border rules. This might be a bit spicy going down the road. You're gonna find out what players are vaccinated and what players aren't. If you want to come play in Canada, yes, you're only visiting one team, but this will be interesting to see. NFL, that was a crazy game last night. Mac Jones throws 3 passes in a win over the Bills. New England 14, Buffalo 10. That's the division now to me. Buffalo could go on a run. I don't think New England's going to slow down that much. I think New England's going to take that division. Will Buffalo make the playoffs? I think they still will, but there's a chance they might not even get that wild card that they're sitting in right now. Cardinals have probably wrapped up that division in the NFC West. They continue to roll. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, what a crazy game that was. My heart was pumping. Jim Harbaugh decides to go for two at the end of the game. They had it. It was on a fingertip of Mark Andrews. They didn't get it in. You know what? It's fine. Baltimore's winning that division. They didn't care. Whether I'm a Steeler fan or not, the call is it was exciting. The call's the call, and I don't think it's going to really matter because we're going to look at the AFC wild card picture right now, and the LA Chargers are at 7-5. They're in. Cincy 7-5, and Buffalo 7-5. Cincinnati's not the team I thought they were going to be. They got absolutely rolled by the Chargers at home last weekend. The Chargers are going to hold on to that. I think Buffalo will hold on. If any team falls out there, it could be Cincy. And then in the hunt at 4, you have Pittsburgh at 6-5-1. I don't think they're going to make it. If they do, it will be because of their defense. And if they do get in because of their defense, I think that's awesome because I still want to believe that in the NFL, defense can win championships. Then at number 5, you have the Indianapolis Colts at 7-6. I think they're going to get in, but the real question is, are they going to get in as a wild card, or are they going to come back and win that division against the Tennessee Titans? Derrick Henry for the Titans might come back as early in a few weeks, late December, early January. Perfect time to maybe clinch that division, but we will see. Ultimately, I do think Cincy might fall out of that wild card spot and Indy might go in. There's a lot of teams in the hunt, but I don't really see much of them making that push at the end of the season to make the playoffs. NFC wild card picture, LA Rams sitting in the 1 at 8-4. Washington now 6-6. They're continuing to roll. I mentioned in my videos with Abby making our picks that I really like Washington play right now. I have for a long time. I think they could get it done. And the San Francisco 49ers are at 3 at 6-6. In the hunt, we have Philly at 6-7 and Minnesota at 5-7. Minnesota lost another close game. Like they continue to lose in brutal fashion. I hate to see it. It's not great. I don't think Minnesota's going to end up making the playoffs. Philly might get in there, but really, I think those 3 teams are kind of solidified in the Rams, the football team, and the San Francisco 49ers. That'll be fun to watch. MLB, I guess I got to hit on it really quickly here. MLB has now been shut down as a few days ago at midnight. The MLB always seems to have this happen to them. Their players and the owners and whatever, they can never seem to be on the same page. They're always in disagreements. They spend money like crazy, and the money you just spent on all these players now might go to waste for a little bit here because we're not that far away from pitchers and catchers to reporting to spring training. I mean, this is... there's no real light at that end of the tunnel right now. So we're just going to have to see. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Let's get out of here on this. I like Formula One. I used to watch it a lot closer, and then I didn't. And then Drive to Survive came out on Netflix, and a lot of people started to watch Formula One, or at least interested in it, because it's a fantastic series. The 2021 F1 season is coming down to the final race of the year in Abu Dhabi under the lights. I love races under the lights, man. It's fantastic. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton tied at 369 points. Now, the only thing we can hope for is that the race is clean. The first corner's clean. The first lap is clean. No silliness. Last thing we want to see is one of these two guys not being able to finish the race. Whoever finishes better wins the championship. Lewis Hamilton looking for 6. Max, I don't know if he's won any, to be honest. But really, hey, what if Valtteri Bottas, he's leaving Mercedes this year, he just goes into the first turn and takes as many people out as he can. I'm just joking. Don't do that. I'm really looking forward to the race. I believe it's at 8 a.m. Sunday. I will be parked with a coffee. And of course, we can just hope that this race is not as chaotic as the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was. That race director sure earned a drink after that race. Miscommunication over comms, guys banging into people is just outrageous. One of the longest races time-wise I've ever sat in front of. But we'll see. It's going to be great. The next time I talk to you, there will be a new F1 champion. Of course, tune in to Abby and my NFL picks every Sunday morning. We missed last night's Monday Nighter, but we did both pick New England. We didn't really want to announce it for all of our Buffalo fans. But hey, that's it for me. Groomers Take on a Tuesday. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.